President Obama strongly supports the project and has provided the majority of funds for the first phase. It's now your decision to evaluate the plan and decide what action to take. Without hesitation, I urge your approval. If you believe that California will continue to grow as I do, and that millions more people will be living in our state, this is a wise investment. Building new runways and expanding our airports and highways is the only alternative. That is not cheaper and will face even more political opposition. Those who believe that California is in decline will naturally shrink back from such a strenuous undertaking. I understand that feeling, but I don't share it, because I know this state and the spirit of the people who chose to live here. California is still the gold mountain that Chinese immigrants in 1848 came across the Pacific to find. The wealth is different, derived as it is not from mining the Sierras, but from the creative imagination of those who invent and build and generate the ideas that drive our economy forward. Critics of the high-speed rail project abound, as they often do when something of this magnitude is proposed. During the 1930s, the Central Valley Water Project was called a fantastic dream that will not work. The master plan for the interstate highway system in 1939 was derided as New Deal jitterbug economics. In 1966, then Mayor Johnson of Berkeley called BART a billion-dollar potential fiasco. Similarly, the Panama Canal was for years thought to be impractical. And Benjamin Disraeli himself said of the Suez Canal, totally impossible. Well, the critics were wrong then, and they're wrong now. And we're going to build the first phase so that in of itself is worth the $2 billion of state money that we're going to invest. If nothing else happened, and it will. Another issue we must tackle is water. Last week, Secretary of the Interior, Ken Salazar, met here in Sacramento with those in my administration who are working to complete the Bay Delta Conservation Plan. Together we agreed that by this summer, we should have the basic elements of the project we need to build. This is something my father worked on, and that I worked on as well, decades ago. We know more now and are committed to the dual goals of restoring the Delta ecosystem and ensuring a reliable water supply. This is an enormous project. It will ensure water for 25 million Californians and for millions of acres of farmland, as well as 100,000 acres of new habitat for spawning fish and other wildlife. To get it done will require time, political will, and countless permits from state and federal agencies. I invite your collaboration and constructive engagement. Next, I want to say something about our schools. They consume more tax dollars than any other government activity, and rightly so, as they have a profound effect on our future. Since everyone goes to school, everyone thinks they know something about education. And in a sense, they do. But that doesn't stop experts and academics and foundation consultants from offering their ideas, usually labeled reform and regularly changing at 10-year intervals, on how to get kids learning more and better. It's salutary and even edifying that so much interest is shown in the next generation. Nevertheless, in a state with 6 million students, 300,000 teachers, deep economic divisions, and 100 different languages, some humility is called for. In that spirit, I offer these thoughts. First, responsibility must be clearly delineated between the various levels of power that have a stake in our educational system. What most needs to be avoided is concentrating more and more decision-making at the federal or state level. For better or worse, we depend on elected school boards and the principals and teachers they hire. To me, we should set broad goals and have a good accountability system, leaving the real work to those closest to the students. Yes, we should demand continuous improvement in meeting our state standards, but we should not impose excessive or detailed mandates. My budget proposes to replace categorical programs with a new weighted student formula that provides a basic level of funding with additional money for disadvantaged students and those struggling to learn English. This will give more authority to local school districts to fashion the kind of programs they see their students need. It will also create transparency, reduce bureaucracy, and simplify complex funding streams. Given the cutbacks to education in recent years, it's imperative that California devote more tax dollars to this most basic of public services. If we're successful in passing the temporary taxes that I've proposed and the economy continues to expand, schools will be in a much stronger position. No system, however, works without accountability. In California, we have detailed state standards and lots of tests. Unfortunately, the resulting data is not provided until after the school is over. Even today, as I speak to you, the ranking of schools based on tests taken in April and May of 2011 is not available. I believe it's time to reduce the number of tests and get the results to teachers, principals, and superintendents in weeks, not months. With timely data, principals and superintendents can better mentor and guide teachers as well as make sound evaluations of their performance. I believe we also need a qualitative system of assessments, such as a site visitation program where each classroom is visited, observed, and evaluated. I will work with the State Board of Education to develop this proposal. The House of Education is divided by powerful forces and strong emotions. My role as governor is not to choose sides, but to listen, to engage, and to lead. I'll do that. I embrace both reform and tradition, but not complacency. My hunch is that principals and teachers know the most, but I'll take good ideas from wherever they come. As for pensions, I put forth my 12-point proposal. Examine it, improve it, but please, take up the issue and do something real. I'm committed to pension reform because I believe there's a real problem. 3 times as many people as are retiring as are entering the workforce. This arithmetic doesn't add up. In addition, benefits, contributions, and the age of retirement all have to balance. I don't believe they do today. Start tomorrow. You work for 30 years. Are you going to live to 80, 90, 110? How much is that? How many people are retired? How many people are working? How many people are coming along? How does it all work out? Anybody who tells me that you feel absolutely confident that 40 or 50 years from now things are all going to be paid for are not looking at the numbers and the other comparable investments. As for prison alignment, we're just at the beginning. The cooperation of sheriffs, police chiefs, probation officers, district attorneys, and local officials have been remarkable. But we have much to do to protect public safety and reduce recidivism, and together we'll get it done. It's one thing to pass a law, and it's quite another to implement and make it work. As I see it, that's my job as governor and as chief executive. Make the operations of government work efficiently, honestly, in the people's interest. With your help, that's what we'll do in 2012 and prove once again that the declinists about California are wrong. We're on the move, we're on the mend, let's get it done. Thank you.